The London Spitfire and Atlanta Reign have both risen to the challenge in Stage 4, finding their form in the new meta.
When a new meta descends upon us, it is Prophet who answers the call.
The defending champions can add to their reputation by cementing a spot in the top 6 with a win in their final match of the regular season.
Your Overwatch League champion!
But Atlanta wants to keep their win streak going.
Everything over in Atlanta's looking great. In fact, it's looking just peachy.
And continue their surge up the standings and into the playoffs.
제가 딜러 최강이라고 생각합니다.
They have one of the league's sharpest weapons in Erster, but can he surpass last year's finals MVP, Prophet? Spitfire, Reign, match of the week.
Happy Sunday to you all, denizens of the internet and those tuning in via television. Welcome back to the Overwatch League. It's stage 4, it's week 4, it's day 4. And we've got a couple matches for those teams trying to sneak their way in to that top echelon of playoffs. And also, the last time for this season that we'll be seeing a few of our teams, a great chance to send off and also build a little bit of anticipation heading into our grand finals match.
Yeah, you know, some of our matches that we'll have for the rest of the day, you know, they have some teams that are already out of it. These two teams are definitely still in it. We got the Atlanta Reign versus the London Spitfire to kick things off. Both teams vying for a top 6 spot.
And that makes a big difference. Now, both of these teams are essentially guaranteed a top 12 spot, but that's not enough, at least not for these guys here, Matt. What is the difference?
So getting into the top 6, you will not have to play in the play-in. So our playoffs will be the 8 teams that make it through. So the 8 teams, though, are going to come from the guaranteed top 6 and the winner of the play-in, the 2 spots from the play-in tournament. The play-in tournaments will be teams 7 through 12. So you can see right now Atlanta sitting in 9th. But they still have a few matches left in their season, a good map differential. A win here could propel them up to potentially get into that top 6. You see, this is their toughest match left. They win here, you think they get by the Fuel, they get by the Uprising, they put together a 7-0 stage, and they could potentially sneak into your top 6, which is massive. You do not have to play through that grueling play-in tournament to get a spot.
And the London Spitfire are in a similar position, Matt. They want to try and clinch that 6th spot. That's still a tough one for them, though, because a lot of teams realize that might put them up against the San Francisco Shock, but it means that they can bypass our play-in period, have that extra time to practice, which is very important. There will be some changes to the game between now and those playoffs.
But if you get into the top 6, that guarantees you a spot in that double elimination bracket, the play-in to take a winner-go-home scenario. You don't want to put yourself in that spot. You'll take a tough match in the first round if you can make it to the double elim.
And of course, let's get this one started. Time to bring out our reigning champions, looking for another shot at glory. It is the London Spitfire. Matt, slow off the starting block with a Spitfire this season, but that's how it works. They need a runway to get up to cruising altitude. The London Spitfire looking solid. This is definitely a matchup, though, and they've said it themselves. I spoke to their GM earlier on. It is a must-win.
And he just has to run back down there and grab something from a fan. But it's interesting for London. They've had a very good stage this far. I think, though, everybody expected as soon as we went into this meta with 2-2-2, you'd expect them to come back into their form that they were at the end of last season, which they really dominated on the way to winning the entire thing. They just haven't looked that dominant yet. Do I think they can get there? I think they can. I think they have the pieces with Gesture and Fury in the tank role. Prophet is the damage dealer, you know, the real star player of this team. I think they have the pieces to make it work.
Yeah, the damage dealers, Matt. Definitely a time for them to be shining right now. And Quartermain, obviously the newest addition to this team. A veteran head with a bit of aggression on that main support role. Definitely going to be a difference maker. It's time now to bring out their opponents, though. This team is looking at a potential 7-0 stage. The biggest hurdle to get over is this match. Let's bring them out. It is the Atlanta Reign. You know, Matt, there's a lot to be said about the motif of the Phoenix rising from the ashes, but the Atlanta Reign, nothing's burned down for them. This is their inaugural season, their first season in the league. And they're already shaping up as a top contender heading into playoffs.
And I really love the makeup of this team, especially with Baby Bay and Dogman in, just fiery players. They go off of a lot of confidence. You have Erster, who's been lights out this stage. I mean, he has been one of the best players in the world.
He said it
during
himself.
Stage 4.
He believes he's the best damage dealer in the league right now.
And they don't really have like a big glaring weakness as a team. They've really put it together in this stage. They have Baby and Urster, the damage dealers who like both of their combo, but this is going to be a matchup. Urster versus Prophet.
The star power in this head-to-head is insane. Both Birdring, Urster, Prophet, they're all up there in terms of their stats, but definitely feel like Prophet and Urster is going to be a grudge match between these two. Urster's still looking for glory. Prophet has had it once before, but Urster's already showed up. 18 different heroes with at least 3 minutes of playtime. That is a huge amount. Now, Prophet, we've seen him bring out the Genji a little bit. We've seen him play the Hanzo. Birdring has also had a crack at that role similarly. London is showing a few different looks and damage, but Urster, man, he just does it all.
It's the Hanzo play from Urster that's been unreal. You can see his Hanzo ranks first in hero damage, final blows, Dragon Strike kills, Storm Arrow kills, and limbs in the stage. I mean, when we talked about how good like Corey is on the Hanzo, Corey's a fantastic Hanzo. You look at these numbers from Urster, they are nuts. And you know, Prophet is a very good Hanzo in his own right. You know, the ranks kind of fall somewhere in the middle, but man, Urster just leading in every category is something you rarely see. We can take a look at the map set here. Presented by Toyota, Busan, Hanamura, Blizzard World, and Havana. So some pretty good Hanzo maps.
Now, we talked a little bit about Prophet. Birdring, though, actually holds some really good Hanzo stats if there's a composition that has him playing the Hanzo map. Where Urster is number 2 in first eliminations, Birdring is number 1 on Hanzo in that stat. We don't know what we get from London in terms of the damage setup. He'll probably see a little bit more of a May Reaper focus here on this first map. Busan is where it begins. The Spitfire, 4-1 on this control map.
Yeah, and I think the 3-6 for the Atlanta Reign, they're a much different team now than how they've been the entire year. Big force to be reckoned with now is both teams just trying to adjust their compositions, figure out what they want to run here at the start.
Reckoned with or reckoned with? Both, I guess, apply.
Yeah, it's Gesture will be on the Orisa, so they'll run Orisa Diva. You'll have May and Reaper for both sides, so nothing real surprising here from either team.
They'll meet in the middle here with those Orisa shields, sort of demarcating the line of engagement. Prophet again just wants to get some easy icicles, find some early picks, an early wall, but he walks straight into a barrage of damage.
Dogman on the Moira, picks him up, and Atlanta, they can back up here, take the point, so London has to back out.
And not a great start for the Spitfire, and Prophet has a way of staving off damage. Ice Block protects him and heals him up over time. It was clear to see that he just wasn't ready to take such a high amount of burst damage in such a short period of time. Puts the Spitfire behind the 8 ball now as they need to return to the point. The longer this fight takes, the more percent they give to the Reign. They start off with dueling coalescences and a May wall comes up early.
Both of those Moira ultimates come out here early. You see one come out, the other one just trying to keep everybody alive, put down some damage as well, as both teams just kind of playing in this neutral area here. Urster does have the Blizzard to use to drop it here on the back line of London.
Yeah, he lets it go and then drops the wall. Harder for London to see that Blizzard coming. Birdring gets caught. It's going to be a wall for the Spitfire to try and give themselves some privacy and some safety in this room. But losing Birdring, their main damage dealer, there's not much to be done here. They're giving percentage every second to the Reign.
In the Reign, they realized that there was one player split off, so Baby Bay, with the help of Dogman, will go finish off the Notion, as he's going to use a Death Blossom here in the corner as he's pushed up.
Very aggressive, but it works out. Look how close they are to London Spitfire's spawn. But Notion is going to get sent back.
And I mentioned that they're pretty fiery guys. So looking at Baby Bay, as he's on the stage right now, you get his player cam in the front. He's just screaming at the rest of the team. Like, he is popping off right now.
They're in the bottom left.
He's a player who goes on, like, confidence, right? When you can get Baby Bay rolling, like, he starts to play even better and better and better. It's like it's risky because, you know, come out, you have a flat game, you really kind of shut down, but he's looked really good this far.
Here we go, Superchargers thrown down by both Orisas. Both teams boosted in damage output with the Superchargers are the first target they're taken out. FRD, he negates Prophet's Blizzard by eating it with Diva's defense matrix. So that's a big tool for the Spitfire now that is off the table. The Reign move back to the point. They'll play defensively here. Urster might have a little precedent for his opponents. He throws the Blizzard down. Death Blossom from Birdring doesn't yield any results. The sound barrier was good from Massa. And Notion's frozen solid. Birdring comes to the rescue, but Gesture still goes down elsewhere. And now the Reapers trying to keep themselves alive, but it's not going to be enough. The Atlanta Reign, they came here with fire in their bellies. Prophet will throw up a wall, try and stay alive a little bit longer, but Baby Bay puts that to a quick end. Already popping off.
Atlanta takes round 1. The relative ease is...
Does that look like the face of someone that's feeling themselves?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a huge advantage there for Atlanta on point 1. Can they secure the map here with point number 2? As we mentioned, Atlanta, if they win this, they have Dallas and I believe Boston left. You're looking at potentially an
Expected wins, those.
Expected wins, a potentially undefeated stage for the Atlanta Reign. Which, if they're able to do that, there are probably some teams in the play-ins who are pretty happy they're not going to be down there.
The Reign have a stage where they lose 5 times and get 2 wins against New York, and that's it.
Those 2 wins against New York are huge looking back on it. As Bebe with some extra here at the start. We'll see if you stay on it. Nope, just going to TP players forward and then use the speed boost. Yep. So you gain a little bit of a positional advantage here by comboing.
Anything to get your team in position first. It is a race to the point. Endothermic Blaster firing for Urstreal, hoping to freeze Prophet up. Prophet was a little bit nervous about it. Another wall thrown up. A Halt is going to drag the Spitfire together. A lot of snow being thrown around on the point here. Ursta trying to play an off angle. If you can find a headshot, it'd be huge. Birdring strikes first, though. But Popo going down now. The Reign have lost their anchor.
This will just be cleanup here for London. London will be taking the point first. And I think Atlanta, what they were trying to do there was just play a little bit slower, a little bit more passive, allow Urster to build the Blizzard because he was so close to it. About like 20% in terms of ultimate lead, like advantage over Prophet. You would have got that Blizzard first, maybe you could have used it, taken the point with that. It'll be Coalescence from both sides to open this next fight up.
Shield useless against the Coalescence, and so everyone has to batten down the hatches. Prophet, not least among them, tries to throw a wall up to get himself out of harm's way, but there are eyes on him right now. FRD's trying to find him. Birdring moving back a little bit, and that's a nice Blizzard from London. This will force the Atlanta Reign to spread a little bit more and give the Spitfire a safe base of operations for a couple of seconds. Birdring is low though. That defense matrix cutting off his ability to get health back, but the sound barrier was timely from Quartermain.
And I think in Atlanta, they want to try and fight this because Gesture's out of the fight. They don't have a shield, but now Gesture comes back from the respawn for London. So they're able to stabilize on the point. Now this will force the Atlanta Reign to wait this out a little bit. You want to get Masa back in. This will be a Coalescence though from Dogman. So using this ultimate here, he will fall. Not looking good for Atlanta.
They try and throw a Blizzard down, but the Spitfire are unbothered by it. They move back to the point. Prophet missing Baby Bay now, trying to go for the Death Blossom. It gets Gesture, but the self-destruct. He's able to dodge that too. Twinkle Toes is Baby Bay now as he'll chase down the remnants of the Spitfire, but it's a big score deficit here.
And it didn't look good for Atlanta. They had lost Dogman during the Coalescence, but Baby Bay gets behind enemy lines, able to get a ninth Death Blossom off. So I believe he had Fury get D-mech there during that, so then he had no ability to use the Matrix, some of that up. So big play there from Baby Bay, which swings the point in Atlanta's favor now.
Just trying to limp away here. He took a face full of early damage from the Reign. Halt, nice block forced by Ursta. He drops down. Another shield, another wall. The Reign have some time to set up their defense here. They need to hold on to the point. Prophet getting a lot of free damage there by going for FRD's mech. Defense Matrix doesn't last long enough to protect him, and there it is. Blizzard comes in after the D.Va is desuited. Popo fortifies, just so he can stay inside the Blizzard. One of the only heroes that can do that right now. Trying to keep that key pivot alive, but the Spitfire are able to segment the Reign.
Yeah, and Atlanta just needs to stay on this for as long as possible. Keep the percentage going up in their favor. Dogman will get on it. He'll finally fall, but Atlanta now for this next fight. 70% and counting for London. They'll have a Blizzard Supercharger to work with. See how they combo some of these. They have to also hold on to some ultimates for the fight after.
They have to get rid of Fury's mech first. That is the win condition for the Atlanta Reign. Want to make sure Ursta gets a good Blizzard. And if Ursta wants to get a good Blizzard, he's definitely at risk of having that negated by that defense matrix. Keep an eye on Fury's health bar at the top of your screen. Here's Coalescence now from London. Barrier comes down at just the right time for Ursta to get extra damage in. Here's the Blizzard though. Placement's good. It's not eaten up. The Spitfire just walk away though. Quartermain gives him a speed boost, but he himself gets frozen. He got the sound barrier out, but it wasn't enough. Birdring. 2 from him with a Death Blossom. A little bit more work to be done, though. Baby Bay is down. Birdring needs a bit of help, though. He's halted back in position. Popo trying to chunk him out. He gets the kill. Now it's Fury against 2. Not a good scenario. Atlanta is still in control, Matt.
And London thought about trying to come back off the spawn and fight this. You had Quartermain and Prophet rushing back. Birdring lives a little bit longer. Maybe those two come back into the fight. The Blizzard comes down from Prophet. You're able to hold on to it, but the flip does come in. Atlanta secures the point. Now it's just like the last fight where Atlanta came in with a Supercharger and a Blizzard of their own. Now London has these ultimates in the combo.
Gonna be a good Blizzard. Prophet already eyeing off his ideal location. The Rain throw up a wall, then they drop to the low ground. They mask their escape.
They split, so you can't just throw down the Blizzard on these players.
Ooh, Prophet has to use Ice Block a little bit early here. Another wall goes up. Baby Bay trying to slink back to the safety of that barrier. And Prophet nonchalantly throws in the Blizzard. Self-destruct over the top, though. FRD forces the Spitfire to back away for a second. It's time for Baby Bay to spring forward, but the defense matrix shuts the Death Blossom down. Birdring finds his opposite number. Here's an Atlanta Rain Blizzard now on the point. They catch Quartermain in that one. Great halt from Popo. Ice block from Erster. Prophet is frozen solid, and Bidoshin is in deep trouble. The Atlanta Rain started way behind in this round, but now they look like they're poised to take it away. Bidoshin is the last hope for the Spitfire, and he's off the point. What a start for the Atlanta Rain, taking their first map.
Highlighted Erster versus Prophet in the pregame, but it's Baby Bay who comes up big for Atlanta. 21 eliminations, time for second in the lobby, but 10 final blows. A lot of good Death Blossom usage as Atlanta takes map number 1. We'll see if London can bounce back after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
what a moment and what a skin. That's right, our 2018 Grand Finals champions have their own skin. Get your hands on that fantastic Winston rendition from August 29th. What a way to commemorate the capture of history by the London Spitfire in 2018. Who will be this year, Matt? What skin are we getting this year?
I don't know. Hey, the way it's looking right now, you could end up with two shock ones. One for MVP, one for the winner. Match of the week, we had Atlanta up 1-0. I think is it surprising? I was going to say, is it surprising? But for me, it's not. Like, I've been pretty high on the Atlanta reign, I'll admit. Tanamura comes up next. But I think a lot of people are just waiting for them to see if they played, like, up to top-level opponents.
Listen, I mean, you have to concede that the Washington Justice is a top-level team in this meta.
Well, you have an Atlanta reign team. If they go undefeated this stage and they win both games this week, where are they? Are they, I think at worst, you'd probably have to put them third in your top 3.
Yeah. Or as Josh likes to have a top 4, I'd say at worst 4th in your top 4. And that's even a stretch because things will change as well with the inclusion of Sigma come playoffs.
I also think too, we'll see Atlanta on offense here. Sometimes it's difficult when you get towards the end of the season to kind of write off the beginning 3 stages, but we know it's a completely new game right now.
How about this though? Atlanta leave Baby Bay in here for map number 2.
Yeah.
And it will be again the Reaper May. This is how the Reign want to play this current meta. The Spitfire have Birdring on Hanzo. So we talked a lot about Prophet. Birdring actually has the better stats league-wide over Prophet on Hanzo.
They need Prophet to play May. It's really what it's about. I feel like Prophet just has to play whatever it is. The Maywall comes down the middle, so that allows them to break some line of sight with the Hanzo to get to the point.
Oh man, if he finds a kill on the Hanzo here, it's big. He even has the time to go for the Immortality Field.
That's nice.
Gets rid of that, and now what? You don't challenge a Reaper here. He may not have any choice. Prophet, he didn't know what hit him. Like a bolt from the blue.
I mean, Reaper is just like a big battering ram, right? Like, it's the thing with Reaper is when he gets into positions where he forces you into close quarters, it's difficult to deal with. A few players here are going to be staggered for London.
It's stagger and swagger right now. I just watched Baby Bay teleport directly in front of Bidosin and then smash him with a Hellfire shotgun.
Can you make something out of this, though? Nice
well,
Maywall here.
It's good. I mean, only the Diva got cut off. She could always have rejoined the team. Baby Bay drops to the low ground. He's used all of his evasion abilities, Matt, though, so he's a little bit vulnerable unless he's doing damage in Birdring. The Dragon Strike cuts through. Quartermain's Immortality Field has been removed, but London look pretty comfortable here in this fight now.
London will hold on, although that first point very quickly taken for Atlanta. The ceremonial Diva stagger here. We saw this happen to Blase the other day. FRD, he's in trouble.
Mate, he's got a poker face on stage, though. He is not showing any emotion. He's probably been here.
He's just looking at his teammates laughing now on the stage.
It's going to happen again, too.
This is a great stagger, though. Now he'll finally be eliminated.
You know, Diva players must have the sickest mentality. Having to deal with that every time you get desuited in a fight, you have to be zen. Not actually playing Zenyatta, but channeling your inner zen like 24/7 to be able to deal with that without tilting.
Sound barrier here available for Masa in the Atlanta reign. How do you decide to use it? I think you probably hold on to it when the blizzard comes down.
Yeah.
But Ocean will have the transcendence for that. Atlanta trying to go around the outside here using the Maywall jump up. This is definitely red here by London. There's London since both tanks to the point.
It's been a little while since the Reign have shown themselves. London can surmise they're going this direction. Oh dear, poke. Oh, their defense matrix comes at just the right time to keep them alive. He's very low. Yeah, you saw that Dogman tried to run in and give him a bit of healing, but Prophet, long range. He loves being here right now. This guy can do whatever he pleases. He has a blizzard as well. I don't think he'll need it.
We're gonna see it again.
Oh,
run away.
Oh dear, yeah. Shoot him. Get your money blaster out. Pop off. Hey, let's take your daughter to school day today.
Oh man, he's walking. Fury still kept him on the map. Fury's just booping back and forth.
You can see his health bar. Oh, that is.
Moss actually tried to get over there to help him, but
that's like the first couple widely incursions at the wall. No one really got through.
You know, they've done that like 2 or 3 times, 2 times now. It's bought them at least like 20 seconds each time.
It adds up.
The getting back, yeah, it does. I mean,
40 seconds up against 6 minutes is definitely a chunk of time.
and now they don't have sound barrier to deal with the blizzard that'll come down. So what they're going to do, they're going to have to try and split up. There's going to be a Dragon Strike on the high ground here from
Massa!
Birdring, but the Dragon Strike gets nothing.
Running at Birdring, full tilt. Getting rid of that Hanzo. Baby Bay heads up to the top of the pavilion here and briefly kissed by Fury and needs to go down and protect the rest of his team. Blizzard. Oh, Baby Bay gets frozen so quickly. Self-destruct over the top. FRD gets gesture, but that's it. That's all he's going to get. Now Ersta's in trouble. Masa is a monster. Another one for the Lucio. Mayhem? No.
There's just nothing when both those blizzards come down. You have the Immortality field available for the London Spitfire. But Ocean had used his Transcendence a little bit earlier. It was kind of forced out of him from the high ground down to the low. I think Atlanta right now, you're just trying to figure out, do you stay on this? What options do you really have? You could play like a Hanzo here in this type of situation, but I think Reaper in the close quarters, like I mentioned earlier, especially like all the chokes you have to move through here. The other team's going to play the Reaper and play it close. It's going to be difficult. They actually caught Prophet out here, so
He's in trouble.
oh, he's in a lot of trouble. I mean, he's dead.
6v5 now. Baby Bay wastes no time. Oh dear, not even a courteous greedy for gesture. Just shotguns Akimbo. Quartermain might be the target here. The Transcendence slap a little bit harder. Baby Bay very low. It's going to get pushed away, but it's still looking good for the Rain. Supercharger taken down. London now don't have the damage boost, or do they? Quartermain pops up an Amplification Matrix in the corner. Blizzard now in just that part of the map. Gesture cornered. Prophet and Fury trying to keep the dream alive. Prophet goes into Ice Block here to buy a little bit more time and goes for the Blizzard after the fact here. It comes down, but Erster is able to get out of it. But Ocean in the background, damage being done here. London are actually finding the kills they need to get to stall this out. The Rain have just begun to capture the point. And here's a Dragon Strike. Self-destruct from FRD, no good.
They don't even have a tick. Although this goes pretty well for Atlanta, you know, their push, they're able to pick up some kills, they've gained some progress. They still don't earn enough to earn any permanent progress. Still sitting at 0% on point B captures. It kind of feels like they threw everything into that one. As Quartermain changes off of Lucio back. Like you mentioned, you know, Birdring first in the league in that first kill rate on Hanzo, able to pick up a kill there. So that'll force Baby Bay and the Atlanta Rain to wait some more.
Atlanta Rain have lost a lot of time with staggers on FRD and that pick off. Bidoshin switching over to the Zenyatta here. We're seeing a few teams go for this now on defense. And, I mean, look at him, so safe. That zone of Blizzard really means the Rain can't access him. He gets to do what Zens do best.
And Dogman gets picked off here before this next fight, so you lose all of your healing, the Coalescent. Are you even going to get a good attempt here if you're the Atlanta Rain? 20 seconds on the clock.
It's unlikely. You have to go, maybe, you know, Dogman just goes straight through the main part of the point with a Coalescence.
Birdring's trying to find him.
Oh yeah, he knows he's coming. There's a Dragon Strike on the way. Sonic Arrow, he sees him. Just a glimpse of Dogman as he approaches. Here's the Coalescence from main that we predicted. Healing for Popo now. A little bit of damage for Prophet in the back corner. Here's the Dragon. FRD able to dodge it. Erster steps forward, but his positioning is a little risky now. The Atlanta Rain made. Dangerous territory, but Baby Bay gets into the back line. Gets 2 kills. And now with a Transcendence, but it comes a little bit late in the day for Bidoshin. As soon as he pops out of that mode, he's in trouble. Ice block there for Prophet. Now it's about buying time. The Rain are already in overtime, which is good news for London. And they'll chase down Bidoshin, who won't really get to the point for now anyway. Gesture turns up on the Wrecking Ball, even with that shield. He's felled early. Self-destruct over the point. Fury not able to buy any time. He can't get back in his mech. He's cut down by Dogman. Quartermain comes across the point. A Dragon Strike there. A little bit wishful from Birdring. Blizzard out on the point now from London. Popo could be in trouble. He's frozen stiff. Defense Matrix from FRD to keep that Orisa alive, and it had to be an ice block here for Prophet. Up on the wall. Here come the Coalescence as an Ursa now rejoins the fray as Tracer. Prophet and Quartermain are down. Ursa on cleanup duty now. Reinhardt is here for Fury. Short-lived reign for him. And Atlanta look to lock it up here to get both points. But Matt, no time in the time bank.
No, it's a Baby Bay Death Blossom that opens things up, but London does a nice job stalling all the way.
until they're in overtime. So they will complete the map, but no time in the time bank. Bird ring on the Hanzo made an impact. 10 final blows. We'll see London's attack after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Atlanta Reign, they get the map done, but they're going to have to turn up the heat on defense if they want to take another map away here. No overtime, no time banking. So if London get the map done with time to spare, they'll be able to go again. The Reign won't.
You know, we've talked a lot about how the Atlanta Reign, you win this, you have some pretty easy games the rest of the way. You think they could potentially go undefeated in the stage. Mind you, this is a very important game for the London Spitfire. They win this, they can get into the top 6, lock that spot down.
Our road to the grand finals is rapidly approaching. Both of these teams are looking to avoid the play-ins that will happen before we decide our top 8. There's a lot of risk there, and they do not want to fall out of the mix before the real games begin. Atlanta Reign on defense here, and it will be Baby Babe on the Hanzo.
Yeah, you got the Batistana set up in terms of support, so another advantage for Atlanta and some of these other teams that you see now in Stage 4, trying to figure out a way that they can play 2 flex supports without moving players around in their roster.
A lot of those Lucio players now getting a chance to play some more intensive heroes in some regards, at least. But definitely a bit more aim related.
Like you say, getting a chance. They have no option, or else they won't. Oh, they actually trying to go to the high ground here. Well, that's huge because that wall, it stops all the Prophet having any of his abilities. He has to use his rocket punch, the uppercut, and the seismic slam to get on through.
Oh, Prophet, where are you going, son? FRD yanks him down to the low ground. Gives him a very unceremonious dismissal. Another hook from FRD. The poke follow-up is good. And yeah, that wall that got thrown up in Prophet's face completely gutted his ability to cross ground for quite some time. Looked very awkward when he eventually got to the fight.
What's your opinion on the Winston here? We haven't seen really much of Winston in Stage 4. It's really been Orisa and Wrecking Ball. So I feel like he just doesn't have the survivability. And you see London, they make some changes as they'll go play Orisa now. I feel like playing that stuff into the Mei and the Roadhog.
I suppose the thinking is something to follow the Doomfist in and have some more staying power on your dive. They go for a classic Orisa setup. Amplification Matrix thrown onto the low ground here from Masa. Coalescence came out from the Spitfire. They're trying to get to the point, but Badoshin goes down. They are at least fighting on the point, but Erstad, that's where he wants to be, Matt. The Mei thrives in this environment. There's nowhere for her foes to run, which means she can put them on ice.
And they do try to get the Reaper onto the point, a lot like how the Atlanta Reign were able to do. That's how Atlanta was able to do it. They put the Reaper on the point, have them come into the close quarters, try and fight against them. Baby now has played Sombra, so you're gonna have to move away from Hanzo. He'll play Sombra here.
Was that
Trying to
more
farm up an EMP, probably trying to get back.
Was that more a concession for the Doomfish that we saw earlier, perhaps? Baby still playing a hero that was supposed to counter a pick that the Spitfire have since switched off of. Either way, they'll look to get value with an EMP as soon as possible. Oh, Esther! Fury's just a little bit too canny for that. He tried to throw the Blizzard down, but Fury was ready with the defense matrix. May not matter though, as Gesture gets caught there by the wall. But on the point are the Spitfire. Already one tick of permanent progress, and they're looking for more. Burnering couldn't escape the hook that came in. The Atlanta Reign have to dig a bit deeper in this fight to defend, but still, they come out on top.
It's just two really different ways to play this on defense that we've seen. So London, when Atlanta got to the point, they just kind of like backed around, circled the point. When London is getting the Reaper to the point, that time they get Birdring and Vidocian to the point. Instead of kind of trailing it, what Atlanta does is they just push forward and take out the front line, then they double back and deal with the Reaper.
So they get rid of the tanks that was caught up by the main door and let the Spitfire get some progress.
Yeah, they don't mind giving up a little bit of progress. So Birdring gets to the point yet again, and you see he'll just get contested here by Baby Bay.
Jester's gone down. Oh, Baby Bay!
Oh, he can't fall there with the...
That immortality fill was a little bit too late to save the Sombra. Fury goes down, no tanks left for the Spitfire now, it's just the more vulnerable heroes. And they have to stand up in the absence of their big brothers. Prophet down, FRD is in, I mean, this is where he wants to be now. He knows that every remaining player on the Spitfire is vulnerable to him. The chain whip comes out from FRD as Birdring tried to go for a Death Blossom. I think he wanted to drop down with it.
And Quartermain wanted to end up using his sound barrier there probably because this is like your last fight. But he doesn't want to use it because Baby Bay would have just ripped it right off. He knows he's back in the action, so holds on to it here. This is looking like Atlanta Reign putting together a full hold.
Last chance saloon for the Spitfire now. They need to put the puzzle together. On the right side, you can see Jester didn't even get there. Quartermain. Even if Quartermain didn't get hooked there, he would not have got to the point in time. And the London Spitfire are throwing bad money after good at the Reign. They give up that second map there, their attack completely toothless.
We never saw an EMP, we never saw the sound barrier, they just never ended up going to touch the point. So Atlanta, they are all smiles, stealing that map away. They get a full hold, they go into the half, up 2-0. Against London here.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live from the Blizzard Arena, the final day of the regular season here, and we have some awesome stuff going down. It's London Spitfire going up against the Atlanta Reign, and this one, very important for both teams' chances of making it into our playoff bracket. You want to finish in the top 6. London's there right now, but Atlanta is knocking on that door.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they really are, and they're showing up to play, really. Looking at the standings right now, they are so very close to like keeping that top 6 spot. And they are one of the dark horses here. I don't think many people actually expected the Reign to place that well at the end of the season.
Yeah, the Atlanta Reign 4-3 in this stage, but they have... They have such an opportunity going forward. I mean, they're undefeated at the moment, sorry. But when you look at their Stage 4 schedule, they are currently in a great position to be able to beat the London Spitfire. And the Fuel and Uprising, those are what you would expect to be fairly easy wins for the Atlanta Reign, considering how well they've played so far. But they have to win this game against London because London are holding one of those top 6 spots.
It's been so fun to watch these teams so far, and we highlighted on the pre-show, it's going to come down to the DPS today. And one guy who is #1 across the board on Hanzo was Erster. But we didn't have to see his Hanzo so far for Atlanta to get the wins. How did they get the victory on our first map?
Incredible performance from Erster's May, honestly. This team has been so phenomenal at being able to work around it, and he outplayed Prophet in the first half, something that we weren't even sure whether that would be possible. On Busan, he was being able to set up his Blizzard so well. I think that was one of his real strengths. He's #1 at the moment in terms of Blizzard efficiency, as in the amount of people he actually catches with these Blizzards. One of the reasons is that Atlanta are so good at forcing out cooldowns before they engage with it.
Right.
So they'll try and force out the Orisa Fortify, the boosters from the Diva, the Wraithborn from the Reaper, as well as the Fade from the Moira. These are all abilities that can allow people to escape from the Blizzard. Erster's great at throwing them out at the right time.
Especially when you consider he's going up against Fury, one of the most dangerous divas in the game. He's always eating ults.
Yeah, and I mean, it is not the most impressive feat, I think you said, to actually eat a Blizzard. Like, that's so much easier than, let's say, a Graph, as it does require a little bit less reaction time. Yet, it is still, of course, incredibly important to do that. But there is a lot more to eat in the current meta. But yeah, let's take a look in general at how Erster is doing right now on that May, on Busan. He's had a great game, but
yeah.
Technically, so did the entirety of Atlanta Reign, really.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. They've been stomping through this. I mean, the times are only just over a minute, and then he's able to get 8 Blizzard kills out of that as well, doubling the amount that Prophet was. A masterclass from Erster and the Atlanta Reign on Busan.
Erster very strong on the May, but I was watching Baby Bay when we went to our second map, Hanamura. He opened things up with that Reaper, and we talked about Baby Bay. We were expecting maybe a sniper duel between him and Birdring. Instead, it looks like Atlanta wants to stay with this short, close quarters combat.
I mean, why not? Erster is so good at setting things up for Baby Bay, so this is working. However, they did almost get full health, so they managed to clutch it out, and a lot of that was on the back of a bunch of small mistakes action from the London Spitfire. Fury kind of fumbled his ult at the very end there. He could have maybe clutched it, however, that was not the case in the end. And then I also want to highlight FRD. FRD had an absolutely phenomenal game on that Roadhog, and he has been one of the, a little bit of a question mark, because he is replacing Dako.
Dako was so good.
Exactly, and Dako was so good, so people were worried for FRD coming in, stepping into his shoes, but he's doing just fine.
He's trying them.
Don't be worried about that. I mean, 85% hook accuracy. They got demolished. London Spitfire trying to attack got destroyed every single time. They got a couple of cheap ticks because they were just teleporting people to the point, but Gesture was getting run over by FRD. There was nothing that London could do.
This is London's last game, right? So how do they get the job done in the second half? You have to win 3 straight and force this in a Game 5 victory.
Yeah, something that I've been paying particular attention to is Birdring's Hanzo, because we often think about Prophet being the Hanzo for this team, so Birdring slipped under the radar a little bit. So I've got an Insights Power by Intel where I want to just talk a little bit about how Birdring has been playing on this hero, because essentially Birdring has been excellent at being able to find these picks in fights. He almost clutched out this point B defense, and his win rate on the Hanzo has been phenomenal so far this stage. But Gesture is the one that really helps him when the Dragon Strike is in in play. They have such a better win rate when they're using Dragon Strike than you would expect, because Gesture's halts are so phenomenal.
Always.
You see him go for this every single time that this Dragon Strike is thrown out, and it helps them enormously. So what I want to see from them in the second half is Birdring playing as much Hanzo as possible and them setting up those plays, because that is their win condition. Get Gesture on the Orisa. No Wrecking Ball from him. I want to see him on the Orisa.
So is it going to happen?
Nah.
Not going to happen.
The Erster's Hanzo is just, in my opinion, actually better.
Well, that's going to do it for halftime. But before we go, guys, we've got some awesome men here with some tank tips for you. One of the best in the league, in fact. He's the 2018 champion. It's Gesture for the London Spitfire. And this is his game set by Omen by HP.
Gesture's in the back line. It's going to be super nasty. Beautiful. All-out aggression, and he escapes.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 홍재이고 게임 닉네임은 제스처라는 닉네임을 쓰고 있고 소속팀은 런던 스핏파이어입니다. 윈스턴은 이제 탱크 캐릭터 중에 기동성이 좋고 되게 그 방벽을 깔면서 동시에 공격을 할 수 있다는 게 되게 좋은 캐릭터고, 그리고 뭐 궁을 이용해서 낙사를 시킬 수도 있고 되게 약간 다재다능한 캐릭터인 것 같아요. 저 같은 경우에는 웬만하면 풀스크린보다 이제 이 모드를 많이 쓰고, 여기서도 240Hz로 맞춰주고, 그리고 렌더링은 100% 감도를 7을 쓰고, 그리고 DPI는 800을 쓰고, 이게 에임 형태는 크게 신경 쓰지 않는 편이에요. 저 같은 경우에는 이제 그냥 손풀기를 할 때 이제 훈련장에 와가지고 그냥 로봇들을 이렇게 때리면서 공이 차면은 이제 뭐 이런 식으로 드리블하면서 놀고, 가까운 거리에서 데미지 넣으려면 뭐 뒤에 S키를 누르면서 점프를 하면서 데미지를 넣는다던가, 점프를 할 때는 이제 뭐 우선순위가 보통은 이제 피가 낮은 뭐 DPS나 아니면 힐러 쪽인데, 상대 위도우메이커나 이런 게 저희 팀 백라인 쪽에 압박이 많이 되면 위도우메이커 같은 캐릭터를 이제 1순위로 보기도 하고 그래요. 윈스턴 이제 이 쉴드 같은 경우는 이게 뭐 상대편 맥클이라고 치고 이렇게 간 다음에 이렇게 따라가다가 좀 이렇게 끝까지 가서 깔면은 좀 더 활용을 잘할 수 있을 거예요. 이 맵 같은 경우에는 되게 윈스턴이 좋은 맵이고, 아무래도 사방이 낙사시킬 수 있는 공간이 많고 그러다 보니까, 그리고 천장도 높아서 눈바니 같은 경우에는 윈스턴을 활용하기 좋은 맵이라고 생각이 드는 이유는 수비 지점에서 특히 윈스턴을 쓰기가 좋은데, 이게 상대가 이제 다 1층에서 시작을 해야 되기 때문에 2층을 먼저 먹고 있는 윈스턴은 편하거든요. 되게. 이 인터뷰를 봐주셔서 감사하고, 이 영상을 통해서 조금 더 나은 윈스턴이 되시길 바라겠습니다.
Gesture, my goodness.
The London Spitfire can add to their reputation with a win in their final match of the regular season. But Atlanta wants to keep their win streak going. Spitfire, Reign, Match of the Week.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Overwatch League and our match of the week. We expected it to be quite the clash, and it looked like it could have been on Hanamura. London Spitfire had a really good defense on point B, but the Reign had a really good defense on point A and got that hold there to take map 2. And now, I mean, I knew the Spitfire were nervous about this one coming in. You know, I had a couple of words to the GM, and Rob was like, yeah, like these guys are nasty. These guys are really good right now, these Atlanta Reign fellas.
Yeah, and it's a team that a lot of people have been mixed about, Atlanta. It's like, well, do you believe that they're as good as you've seen, or do you believe that they're just kind of rolling their opponents who are a little bit weaker? This week, they have the Washington Justice, they get a win there. They have the London Spitfire, they're up 2-0 here. I think this is a prove-it week for the Atlanta Reign, and Lair will come in for Baby Bay. So I actually thought Baby Bay had a really good 2 maps to open it up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We saw even the Sombra from Baby Bay for a little bit there on Hanamura. Enlair is obviously the kind of player who can play the Mei as well. Might free Erster up to play a bit more of that Hanzo, if that's an option they want to go with. Also, Enlair is quite a decorated Widowmaker in his own right.
Here on Blizzard World, you can make good use of Hanzo getting towards the high ground. We see a lot of Hanzo play on Blizzard World.
He's out there climbing, he's out there slanging arrows.
That could be the play here for Atlanta.
Right.
It's Atlanta, 3-1.
So that's interesting. Do the Reign require Enlair to be playing Mei to free Erster up? Maybe that's why Baby Bay gets subbed out at all when he plays so well in general.
Yeah, maybe that's something that as the season goes on, teams will recognize that substitution pattern with the Atlanta Reign.
Yeah, I called it, baby!
Called it, yep.
Spitfire will have the Zen Batiste defense, pretty standard. FRD. Okay.
Just a little jump up to see what they had.
I like that. I mean, all the ways that teams are devising to try and scout their opponents. That's a new one. Can't get one-shot kill with a headshot, I guess, so there is that.
Now we get Birdring versus Erster. Well, we'll get in a little bit as Bedosian lines up some orbs, takes out Masa there.
Masa was just to the left of the barrier, or the barrier came just a little too late to protect him. From Pokepo, of course, his barrier.
You'd think which one of these Hanzos gets first pick.
Shoot the balloons!
Really
Party pooper!
Really dictates the fight.
Birdring not having it. Okay, he has noticed here that Master's a little bit behind the rest of his team, so there was a chance to punish him for being a little bit late to the party. Mei wall goes up, Birdring is having another look. He sees that immortality field. Gesture removes it. Okay, the Reign are getting some progress here. They're going to be forcing a fight. They get Fury. And he defies gravity as he falls very lightly for such a portly gent. Dogman will play behind the boxes here, but the hooks are good. FRD, these last 2 maps, he's Roadhog. I mean, Josh brought it up at halftime, Matt. 85% hook accuracy. So far, 100%, by the way.
Yeah, it's something that Josh and Zoe were talking about a lot during the half, is how good he's been on Roadhog.
Oh, he doesn't care.
Don't even really miss Dako. At this point, he's played so good. As Atlanta be able to take the point, they unlock the payload, and when you lose Fury, it's tough. You lose a large hero like Roadhog, you take up a ton of space on the point, stay there for a while, contest. You feel bad for London, you know, being like a London player, because you do have like, so that'll be a pick for Birdring. You do have the natural high ground there for Atlanta on the backside of the point. And with the way that Atlanta took that push on offense, they couldn't get Erster set up on there. So they were trying to manufacture a pick with the Roadhog there and just trying to negate anything that Birdring could get with the Hanzo, just putting the shields down and playing around it. And London played right into it.
Profit be sneaking. Throws the wall up immediately, gesture sent sky high. Here's the Dragon Strike. Profit is forced to ice block here. He'll have the wall pretty much immediately after. Takes down the immortality field, and here comes Supercharger, but Jester was too low. The Atlanta Reign now able to push through. They got rid of the front door.
And it's really little things with the Mei wall. This will be a blizzard that comes down from Profit here towards the end. So this will get Transcendence out. They're going to try and use it to keep everybody alive. They're actually forcing Atlanta to invest a little bit more into this fight, keep the payload rolling.
Oh! Through Transcendence? Looks like it. Fury goes down, even with the healing of Zenyatta. and there was an amplification matrix thrown down there by the Spitfire. They committed so much to that fight, London, and they come out with nothing.
Masa, he'll have his Amp Matrix for the next fight, so some extra damage for the Atlanta Reign. They'll be able to put it down around the corner. But at the beginning of the fight, when they use their own Amp Matrix, Atlanta, it's a wall that comes in from Profit, and the wall is actually like behind the Amp Matrix, so the Atlanta Reign are still able to shoot through the Matrix and break that wall down. That'll be a pick off on the Gesture. Can you even challenge it at this point?
No way, not a chance. London have to give up this point as well. This is a must-win map for London if they want top 6. And Atlanta Reign are just evicting them every stage of the map.
Yeah, it's been kind of ugly for London throughout this series. Might get a hook there from FRD, just next to the wall there, so not able to get anything, but Dogman with a pick off on a Gesture.
Matt, they've lost Gesture twice in the last 2 fights first, and it is lost for them right there and then. All right, amplification matrix and the Spitfire need to back to the left-hand side. They actually would rather be on the right. Standing where they are now splits them off from the rest of their team. Still, they're going to try and go in, and they find Dogman, who was, in fairness, positioned very aggressively forward. It doesn't matter, though. That was a great May wall. Allow them to at least trade Dogman in for Fury. Supercharger now. Prophet's going to go for the Blizzard here. Popo. He doesn't have Fortify right now. He's stuck in the corner.
He's following it up.
Good wall. I mean, that prevents the follow-up in general. Here's an Atlanta Blizzard now, and Gesture's looking a little bit worse for wear. Blizzard comes down, but everyone moved out of it. Dragon Strike, though. That's not going to be good for Gesture. He's taken down by Erster, and now, with the payload still moving, you see that Birdring has to move up there to try and stall it out, get a kill if he can, but the Atlanta Reign are cruising through this map.
Yeah, Birdring goes on a flank. You will have a Dragon Strike here for London and Fury's Whole Hog to maybe knock some players off of the card. But Amp Matrix and Transcendence here for the Atlanta Reign puts in a really good time.
Transcendence and Amplification Matrix, healing and extra damage for the Reign. They've got everything that they need. They need to break down these barriers first, though. Dogman again, out of position, a little bit far forward. The fight happening on the point, but he's looking for kills. He's out for blood. FRD hooked in here. Fury a little bit low, though. FRD might fancy taking that fight. But London have done a good enough job here of staving off those initial forays.
They wanna wait here, Atlanta. They want to get a Blizzard. They want to get their Dragon Strike. They know they have some time to push this over the line. So they're about 75% towards that Blizzard. They do have the Dragon to split some players off now, though.
And Matrix with the Dragon Strike's going to make it hard to stand behind that and get damage boosted. Oh, it's just as well there was an Immortality field there. Great placement by Quartermain. And the Spitfire can stay alive to fight back.
And for Atlanta, you lose Popo as soon as you start to try and make that play happen. So get nothing with the Dragon, so you waited to try and get some of these ultimates. Now you got nothing with one. Blizzard and Dragon Strike available here for London as well. So
Matt, most of the kills for Atlanta have actually come from Dogman and Popo. They combined for 10, whereas Enlair and Erster combined for 5. Maybe the damage dealers chance to step up here for Atlanta if they want to get this one done. Great spot for Prophet here. No one from the Reign dares challenge him, and now throw a Blizzard. Throws it short, but the hold was perfect. It's going to draw all the Reign in. 3 players are frozen solid, and they both get taken down. Enlair wasn't far behind. Fantastic hold from Gesture to ensure a frosty reception for the Reign.
Yet Atlanta uses their Amp Matrix during that, potentially for the healing aspect, to try and keep players up through the Blizzard. It does not work, but now for Atlanta, you know they have no Blizzard. You know they're probably working towards another Amp Matrix, and they just use the Dragon. So you know there's 3 ultimates not available here. There's Supercharger right around the corner. So this is going to try and buy them some time. It's a nice halt from Gesture there that end up in the result of a kill on the poke post. So Atlanta just has to wait some more. Birdring allows him to build towards the Dragon, allows Quartermain to build towards another Amp Matrix.
Time for the Reign to come up with an answer now. I have a couple of options in their pocket. A good Blizzard. Popo maybe take a leaf out of Gesture's book and follow up with a halt to make sure as many of the Spitfire as possible are subjected to the Blizzard. Long range one there from Enlair. He's trying to push forward. Fury is frozen up, and Pedosian has the Transcendence, and FRD not faring well in the 1v1 against Prophet. That's a Dragon coming through. Another halt to try and pull the Reign in. No one caught by that one, though. Amp Matrix might be a thingy, but Birdring's taken out of the picture already, and Fury's going to get frozen before he can get back to the rest of his team. Popo takes him down. Now the Reign are cooking with gas. Prophet removed. Maybe didn't see Enlair there, and the Spitfire trying to die on the cart to stall this out for as long as they can. But here comes a final push for the Rain and a real chance to finish the map.
Yeah, Dragon Strike and Whole Hog available here for Atlanta to push some players back. So Enlair get in a position, try and get a good May wall here. Force him into one angle, as that'll be the Ant Matrix that comes down. Whole Hog is London does not get back to the point. Still a good defense, though, from London. That was Atlanta with an opportunity to close the map out. They had 3 minutes to get from point B to complete the map. They do complete it, but no time in the bank.
Yeah, going to be tough, though. We've seen the Spitfire have struggled on their attack, especially against control points. We'll see how they fare on the other side of these messages.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
Into the iris.
A map completion on Blizzard World for the Rain means that the Spitfire need to at least do that themselves. I mentioned beforehand, we saw on Hanamura, they had a little bit of a difficulty sort of attacking that first point, and Blizzard World, the setup is similar. You have a capture point, and then you need to push a payload, and that capture point component is where perhaps you're a little bit concerned about London. I mean, they'll probably capture it eventually, but it's how long it takes them. Right. This is a long map. Keep your eyes on that.
What London decides to do early on is we do have another match coming up after this. It's Washington Justice versus the Paris Eternal. I believe it's the last match of the season for the Paris Eternal. And the Justice look very good so far during this stage. It's definitely one you don't want to miss.
It's going to be on Twitch, Disney XD, and the ESPN app.
We have a clip that we show a lot when we talk about London for this stage, where they use the Symmetra teleporter to get Prophet to a spot. The Widowmaker, you see exactly what they're going to do now. Maybe you get a pick-off here. It resulted in a pick-off the last time they ran it.
Teleporter.
They don't go for the Widowmaker shot.
The Atlanta, they're playing close to the Rain. They're playing quite close early.
Birdring goes Widowmaker here, so interesting. So does not want to play the Hanzo here, wants to go Widowmaker. Maybe it's just to try and get a shot as they pull back.
I mean, okay, you got it. Hanzo good at breaking barriers, but in lieu of barriers, Widowmaker definitely the go-to.
They know they're low on healing because Dogman's on Zen.
That's right, not a lot of Urst heal there. Urst found Prophet though. The Hanzo starting to get the work done. Birdring has to be careful, play safe around these boxes. He gets Ursta though.
I think that was just poor communication and teamwork there from London. So they get that first pick. Birdring picks up one player off, takes out Masa. And then what happens is they start to go on the right side. Prophet goes far up because he thinks they're going to play beyond the May wall that's put down by Enlayer, but nobody else is with him. They all sort of wrap around the other side. Then you lose Gesture right away. It just does not seem like London on the same page.
That's costly though, Matt. Let's see how that Ursta pick went down. Yeah, look at them. They're on two sides.
And he's just on the opposite side of Enlayer's AWOL.
Not with the barrier that they need to protect themselves from Hanzo. You saw how passively Massa was playing, though. He is afraid of Widowmaker as Batiste. An easier target to hit. Doesn't have a lot of horizontal mobility.
If London wants to play on the point here, with the Mei, there's not really great sightlines for Birdring.
He is trying to flank and find a pick. He's got infrasight. But the Rain hear that. They probably hear where that sound line might come from as well. They might have an idea. Probably not really. I think it's global. But Birdring will know where they are. But see, look, before Birdring can actually strike, they've already managed to find a pick. Now Birdring gets one, though. Getting rid of Popo is pretty big. FID, another hook. Man, those player swings off the back of hooks from FID have been ridiculous. He's looking for more. Oh, he's hungry. And Birdring, that is a dangerous game you're playing, my friend.
I mean, the advantage for Birdring on the Widowmaker is that there's no diva on the other side, that he can get on that high ground and just play off of it. Knows nobody can get up there and contest him, but with the angles here on this point, there's not really a great sightline for Widowmaker when the fight is on the point.
This is what I was worried about for London, Matt. It's their struggles against set defense.
He's going to switch.
Having to make, I mean, you haven't got any value out of the Widowmaker, and you've lost 2.5 minutes. 90 seconds remain for the Spitfire to try and get something going here to even have a chance of winning a map here.
They invest some ultimates into this fight, and they lose it. You're looking at one fight where you're looking, maybe you have like 1-2 ultimates. It's not looking good for London yet again.
If FID gets another pick, it could be over. Atlanta Reign will be able to save ultimates. Don't want to have to use everything. That's a questionable Blizzard.
That's interesting. Maybe he thought they were going to push behind the Maywall. That'll be a Transcendence here that comes out from the notion they want to push.
FID! He's stuck! Back around a corner, so he's a little bit hard to see. Oh, great wall to come up to save his life now. It's going to be an amplification matrix for Erster and Massa. This forces the Spitfire back for a moment, but Birdring's able to take down the opposite Hanzo. He's got high ground position and he's loving it. Again, the Spitfire back to the point now. Prophet working on his own into the backline, forces Transcendence here. This will mean the Spitfire just going to wait for a moment until Dogman's ultimate is done. Then they'll again lean into the weakened Rain. Prophet getting healed up. Here comes the whole hog. This Dragon Strike could be devastating through the point. Immortality Field being placed down. Great timing. It's going to keep them alive for now. It allows Ursa to get rid of Birdring. That Doomfist is here. Or is he? Wow. It depends on who you ask, really. Great wall to block Fury, though. A lot of that whole hog gets negated while he's trying to bring the ice barrier down. Fury halted in. Quartermain, seen better days. He gets Harmony Orbed. The Raid still have numbers, though. Prophet's going to have to put up a wall and hide for the time being. It's going to be Benocean coming forward here. Knock up onto FID. Birdring is down, though. Dogman finds the pick. He's traded out, though. Good Blizzard. Pokepo's caught up in that one. It's ridiculous.
Is it enough, though?
FID coming back in, but there's a Doomfist. Asta returns to the fight with a flourish and produces a fist of fives. And now Prophet's going to be stuck in the back corner. The whole hog finishes the job on the Rain. Hold now an unassailable lead in this series. It will be at least a 3-1 for this team. Spitfire now, their chances of sitting in top 6 out the window. The Rain, though, theirs are really alive. Again, an inability to make a set play on a defensive area of the map. That is the kind of thing the Spitfire need to have if they're going to make any progress in playoffs. We'll be back with a final map in just a moment.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Into the iris.
洗澡。冻住，不洗澡。
Into the iris.
Team up for special attack.
Pass into the iris.
冻住，不许走！
Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. In a battle of top Overwatch League teams, the Vancouver Titans were trying to steal the third map of the series, Hollywood, against the London Spitfire. Haxel charged up Genji's ult, but just as he used it, the Spitfire's resident Roadhog, Fury, hooked him into Prophet's waiting Blizzard, ensuring they would retain control of the point.
To be clear, London's chances of a top 6 berth are not gone, per se. They can still get in there if the Reign struggle against teams that they are expected to dominate come next week. But they have to now rely on the opponents that bested them to
Look, I mean, you think
lose,
Atlanta, they come out and they beat Washington and London this week. You think it's smooth sailing for them as long as they do not take their next opponents lightly.
Man, it's actually, I bring this up all the time, but it's insane. It's been like 18 months since Dogman has gone from like a guy struggling in tier 2, tier 3, asking me about advice to become a caster, and now he's out here just ripping it on our previous season champions.
You know, I mean, they put together a very good team though, Atlanta. They find FRD, even though you had Dako who was playing well at the time. FRD has had a really good series. Erster, Enlayer, Baby Bay. Good damage dealer core. A lot to be excited about for the Atlanta Reign.
Teams. They've got a great substitute in Baby Bay who comes in, and you see how this setup facilitates Erster.
London has not won this map either.
London having to go into the postseason with a 0-4 loss on the end of the docket. Not a great feeling for them. This is their last regular season match.
And I saw Brendan on Twitter, and he was like,
"Oh God, I haven't read his tweets lately. They actually don't make any sense."
He was basically like, "You just kind of flip a coin, and that's the London you get that day." Like one day they take the Vancouver Titans all the way to the end. The next day they end up getting like 4-0'd by the Atlanta Reign. It's crazy.
Wow. You know, we really sunk if we're referring to Bren's tweets, Matt.
5-match loss streak into a 7-match win streak over the last 12. Really impressive.
That was that stage 3, that struggle town where they just couldn't get a win. Now they can't lose even if they try.
It's just two different types of teams that like Atlanta, right? They go through the losing streak, they turn it around. You can think about the Guangzhou Charge, who had a really tough losing streak. This Dogman's picked up some kills at the beginning of this. Guangzhou Charge, they go through a losing streak. Now they're back on the winning streak, and a team like the Dallas Fuel, although the strength of schedule gets much tougher, winning a lot of games early on, looking like a playoff team, and they fall completely off. It's really difficult when you have some of these seasons like be able to turn it around. So the big props to the Guangzhou Charge and the Atlanta Reign able to do that.
Also using a change in meta as impetus to write a new chapter. Well, the payload is moving. I use the term very lightly. There is locomotion occurring. It's just not overly inspiring. FRD gets caught first here, though. One of my sort of top picks for player of the match so far. I think London will be able to clean up.
They try to use everything to keep them up. They use their own main wall to try and block it off. They used Immortality Field. Just not enough to keep FRD alive. So the payload will continue to move here for the London Spitfire. As you'll get another fight here. For the Atlanta Reign, they'll have Ursa earns himself a Dragon Strike towards the end there. You got an Amp Matrix to use here, so potential for a defensive stand here on point A for Atlanta. How does this make you feel, though, if you're a London fan going into playoffs, though?
Nervous. You feel
really nervous, right?
I mean, you felt nervous a lot this season as a London fan, though.
Like a win or go home.
But you also remember what your team did last year when they just sort of stopped stressing about results and they just boomed their way to a season championship. So, you know that London are the kind of team that can do incredible things. I don't just have to want to.
But do you feel great about putting yourself in that position again?
Enlayer just got baited so hard.
So far away.
The wall was up. They had no choice, but Prophet went for an early ice block to force Enlayer to get aggressive by the looks of things. Buddy frozen, hooked in. Take that one.
Dogman's Transcendence looks pretty sad next to a Roadhog cooked out of it. Nice block here for Prophet. Whole hog time for Fury. He'll still need to use the shield a little bit here, and the Blizzard, well, yeah, he's not going to get out of that one.
They will get Transcendence out of the Ocean here, as London should be able to clean this up. I mean, they really, it's just been about moving Pokepo off of the point to be able to take this. So, the more players coming out here for Atlanta Reign, but London will be able to get it done.
They look pretty good.
I think, though, is there a team that needs top 6 more than London? I mean, they need it.
So, translation, is there a team that is at greater risk of losing to any of our top 12 teams in London?
Hangzhou, right? You would say so. I think it's just more about having the luxury of having the double elimination bracket, you know, being locked into that top 6.
Already knowing you do get a second chance.
You get a second chance. This is a team that, with the way they've looked so up and down, you'd like that second chance.
London will take everything they can get at this point. Supercharger gets weighted out by the Reign. They are chilling, but the payload is going to be moving. Here's an Ant Matrix now. Oh, pouring up to block that. Pretty standard. Quarterman and Gesture combining there. That Immortality field, though, kind of helps the Reign a lot. Payload's been a little bit slow through this phase, Matt. While that Supercharger was down for London, there was actually only one person on the payload. Slow, but the Spitfire have been able to bank ultimates here, and the Reign now have one chance to stop. From being a third phase of this map.
They've gotten 2 pickoffs, make it 3. So now Atlanta, they'll have to back up as... This is the London you expect to see, right?
Fury 7-0 with 86% hook accuracy. This is what we needed to see from London, for sure.
But Fury's had a series where you can, you know, FRD's played fantastic on the other side. He's kind of gotten outplayed now off that world.
Just London's coordination on Blizzard World and Hanamura was deplorable. Now it seems like they're much more comfortable when they don't have to like attack a point to get the payload. If they just get the payload given to them, they seem fine. Gesture is anything but, though, as he is halted up and meets an arrow.
But you're not going to win playoff series like that.
No, you're not. I think it's clear. It's probably clear to everybody, including London, that there needs to be significant improvements between now and those important matches in playoffs. But you don't have much more time, and if you're not in top 6, you don't even get a break.
No, yeah, you just do not have a ton of time left.
We're going to be into it. The week after next, we're going to be straight into playoffs.
Give some ultimates here for both teams. See if Atlanta can get a heavy investment from London. They probably won't need to now. So they're able to get the first pick onto Ursa.
Oh, you are not using that Matrix at all.
No.
The Reign stood forward like they were hoping to still actually get some value out of that. Prophet. That's a pretty picture. Halt in now, FRD, Poke drawn up. DPS from the Spitfire now starting to, fire on a few cylinders. Much less of a sputtering two-stroke.
I mean, that's the thing with this team, is that they have, they have the pieces to put it together. It's just day in and day out. It's like, they wake up, they're the good London. They wake up, they're the bad London. Like, you just do not know which team you're going to get. And especially now you see, like, different maps. I mean, they're rolling right now on Havana. This is a map they haven't won. And they're rolling through Atlanta.
Popo moving up here now. A lot of damage on FRD early. Quickly he's healed up. Master sitting in that back left corner. That's probably right now who the DPS from the Spitfire are looking for. Get rid of those supports. Prophet does his best Wax Emporium impression. It's time to go now for the Spitfire. Supercharger popped out. Whoa! To obscure London. I guess if the Ant Matrix is in the way, they don't really mind not being able to shoot at their opponents for that period of time. Whole hog through it, Ant Matrix. Oh, it didn't last long enough for FRD to get value out of the damage. The Immortality field is down, but in the meantime, Erster up on the ramparts. Gets rid of Quartermain.
Atlanta able to put together a hold here towards the end of the map now. Just a minute to go for London.
You didn't even see Gesture's head. You didn't even see it.
Such a difficult map to complete. So we got a minute to go. Blizzard here. Or Prophet, but you're going to have a Blizzard on the other side, though. So
I mean, playing this stretch of the map as May is kind of rough.
That's nice.
Erster. That's fine. We'll pretend he meant to get that.
Also, you mentioned that, like, London, I think that a little bit nervous, coming into the series against Atlanta.
As they should be.
You're the champs.
Yeah.
You played in Barclays Center. You won.
The long season, man. I mean, think about it. London, like 16 and 11, right? So they've had their share of big victories, but they've also had a bunch of crushing losses.
But I feel like outside of 3 teams, it's really been most of the league.
Short memories, though. We all have short memories. Gamers are like that, especially in like a league. This is only in their 2nd season, right? Short memories.
Like outside of your New York, Vancouver, and San Francisco Shock, a lot of those teams in the top 6 have the same record as the London Spitfire. They're right there.
All right, Evocation Matrix. I feel like I've seen this before. That was a blizzard there from Atlanta. Oh, wow, that's a nasty one as well. Quartermain, Bedosian caught up inside that one. Was Birdering, sorry, Bedosian in Transcendence. He kept him alive, but Dogman. Oh, that's filthy. He drops down, finds a pick on Birdering straight away, and he knew it was time to switch into high gear. And he'll get that extra kill at the end. I know you're hitting control right now. Don't pretend you're not.
You never actually get a use out of Prophet's Blizzard there towards the end. They use the Transcendence to keep everybody alive through end layers Blizzard, but then you lose like 3-4 players. Prophet not able to get a use of it at all. So although London, they looked really good taking point A, they looked really good moving all the way through point B. It's a defensive hole at the end from the Atlanta Reign.
There's a couple moments from end layer in the final parts of the map. Just, I don't know how Prophet got squeezed to the top of that wall, but this flank was very timely. Quick headshot to finish things off. They knew they could just overwhelm London if they got aggressive.
I think you can see how Atlanta wants to use this roster moving forward as well. They want Erster to be in playing the Mei. You bring in Baby Bay, you can play some of the Widowmaker, you can play Reaper, and then when they want to run the Hanzo, that's when you see N-Layer come in and pick up those Mei duties.
I mean, now after the Reign have gotten through opponents such as the Spitfire, you know, they've taken down New York twice. They have to, you know, people have to shift them up a bracket in their minds, and now, if you're a Reign fan, you're expecting results against your San Francisco Shocks of the world, your Gladiators, your Titans even.
I also feel like Atlanta is a team that I won't get nervous in the moment, like in a big stage scenario. Like I feel like, you know, players like Dogman and Baby Bay, like they play up to that type of
You don't think there's
level.
any potential that they choke win as a, you know, a big event?
Nah. I feel pretty good about them. I think what you want to see when you have like players in those types of scenarios is like, obviously like just continue to play their game, but also when plays need to be made, they're not afraid to make a decision that could be a win or loss type of scenario, right? Where, you know, maybe somebody in the moment gets a little bit nervous, a little bit hesitant, doesn't go to make the play, just plays it really safe. I feel like I don't feel that with Atlanta. I feel like they would go for it, given the opportunity.
Birdering. Is there an angle here for him? FID he'll take. Out. Gets the clean up there. He's immediately spotted out and forced away by Dogman. I mean, London didn't really hold that close. Spitfire, the Reign have made some progress. They'll have to back away now, though. Tell you what, I don't know what that Atlanta chef is feeding his team, but it must be working. Great guy, by the way. Big shout out to Atlanta Reign's chef. Consummate hospitality professional. There it is, another one from Birdering. Right now, Dogman's only eating 50 cal bullets.
Hey, ain't nothing you can do saving him from that. So Birdering connects with a headshot there. It's the Ant Matrix used by Masa, just trying to buy them some space in the street here. So this will force London to back up a little bit. Now you get Fury. And where London is falling back to is where they're dropping. Like, you start to lose some of these players a little bit late in this fight. You're worried about potentially giving up point A.
Here it is, though. See, the Prophet was in a good spot. He was causing Poke problems. Enlair steps up, walls him off, then finds him. FRD wants to take a breather. He even leaves a health pack for one of his teammates who didn't need it, but he's going to make sure that the healing credits go to his supports and they get their ultimates a bit faster. Now,
it's going to be really close to getting the card in when they come out to defend this.
I mean, if the Spitfire get here in time, no one can set up properly. They've got some really nice ultimates to leverage. Whole hog, though, might just be enough to push them off. We'll see what FRD goes for here. I feel like you don't whole hog at the start of this fight. Bit risky. FRD just took a breather, so any more damage there could have been lethal. There he is! Furry gets him down. Popo with a Discord orb on him. Throws up a shield, but the barrier disappeared from in front of Master. He takes a big hit now as well. And there's the Blizzard. Popo, unfortunately, bouncing up and down keeps his blood hot, but he's full of oil. Birdering in the backside. Having to duel that with Erster here. Oh, who just turns around and gets rid of Fury. Birdering at least gets a supercharger, but that Dragon Strike now, Erster just causing so many problems while Birdering struggled to drag him down.
As he connects with a Storm Arrow on Fury, then the Dragon Strike out the backside. Now they'll have 4 minutes to get from point A to point B. Let's see if they can get some pickoffs, though. What allowed London to get through this part of the map really quick with some pickoffs from Birdring, playing Hanzo, as you mentioned, one of the best in the league, getting those first to limbs. They're going to try and take the same exact positioning, see if they can get some early pickoffs. That'll be the supercharger there for London. So this actually forces them off of the high ground.
And down go the Rain now, just to shepherd the cart through. This will allow London to set up once more. Erster doesn't want to let that happen. Birdring's done very well on the Hanzo in his head-to-head. He's pretty even right now with Erster. Same amount of death, same amount of final blows. Amplification matrix goes up. Prophet just needs to be careful. That halt was meant for him to drag him to his demise. FRD. You saw there 3 people involved in that elimination, so you know he just took a hail of shots and couldn't withstand them. The Spitfire feeling pretty good here. The hook's off the table now. FRD's sort of waddling back to join the rest of his team.
Getting them off the high ground was massive. This will be the Blizzard at the beginning here.
It'll buy them some space at least. They'll later get around the corner with that, but that's about it, really. Enlayer's going to be frozen. Erster gets frozen too.
London be able to even follow this up, though.
Yeah.
A lot of, the nice Maywall from Prophet there to boost Enlayer up.
I think he still had the angle on Enlayer anyway, from where he was standing on that left side. But that's where the follow-up's going to come from, is the off angle. Here's the whole hog. Fury wants to run him down. This is good. This is the Spitfire bleeding the clock the way that they have to. Massa. Deep trouble. Dogman! Stay out of this. It's a 1v1.
Well, this is where Birdring got those pickoffs on Hanzo, which opened it up. And they were able to control the high ground London pretty much for the entire point B push. You're not able to do that from Atlanta because it's the supercharger that's used from London as they come out of their spawn door, which you don't want to stand there in the open. Your shield's going to get burst down. You don't have enough damage to match that of the supercharger. Team attacking with that ultimate. So you have to back out. You have to concede high ground. And now it's giving it to London.
Quartermain from his perch. Oh, Immortality Field for Prophet. He walks out of it. He would have been fine if he just stayed inside of it. That's not the plan at all. Here comes the dragon, though. Poke. He stands inside the Immortality Field. Be like Poke.
You'll get Prophet back. He'll be back.
But these things happen.
Yeah.
Great hook, though. Poke up to the high ground once more. Gets healed up. He had Fortify on. Dogman down to Birdring again. He's been causing him a lot of problems. Another Spitfire Blizzard. Birdring actually staying safe here from Erster. He knows his opponent has the high ground. Looking very good for London. They can actually stop the rain right here.
You think with how many pickoffs they get from Birdring playing the Hanzo early on, they should be able to win these fights so clean.
I mean, Matt, Fury is killing it. He's 12 final blows here for 3
where
minutes.
where was it the first 3 maps? Where was everybody the first 3?
Well, evidently, it wasn't. Think of the difference that would have been made if that was the case. But remember, I guess playing like this in a dynamic sense, where the payload is moving and so the environment in which the fights are occurring is, as opposed to like having to bash your head against a brick wall on Hanamura 8.
Yeah.
Clearly, this suits London a little better.
Birdring gets a pick off on Amasa. That's a lot of the healing gone for the Atlanta Rain. Is Birdring on Hanzo, the 14 final blows. A lot of them these early pickoffs in these fights.
This map might just keep his stats padded as one of the #1 first kill Hanzos in the league. How mental is that? All right, Sonic Arrow from Birdring. He's going hunting. Massa, dangerous times for you, my friend. Okay, he's able to get away. No headshots there. Another Blizzard. This time it's Atlanta Rain's gesture is out of sorts and out of his territory. Gonna be forced away here. Whole Hog coming in for Fury now. It is overtime. The Rain, they're gonna go for the Transcendence here to try to keep themselves alive, but the Immortality Field might not be enough here. Amplification Matrix is thrown down by both teams, but Pokepo's Supercharger is done. Dogman, another from him. He gets Birdring. Finally, Dogman's revenge. Sounds like an awful horror movie. Buddy gonna try and hide behind the payload. He and Fury trading blows, and oh, he wasn't able to take a breather. Another for Dogman. He's still going. He's the Blizzard though. Ice block used by Prophet, and Dogman is gonna have to just accept it. He's about to be frozen. Good healing from the side, but Massa couldn't keep them alive. He still gets Prophet though. The trade is still good, and so the Atlanta Rain are gonna be able to keep this going.
Fury's gonna come back on Wrecking Ball, maybe gesture on the Reinhardt as they want to try and fight this one more time on the point.
Love to know what FRD switching to Reinhardt, maybe to get a charge in. Everyone's playing flanker, mobile heroes. Reinhardt here, and the Wrecking Ball. Gesture, though, doesn't want to really deal with Tracer. That's kind of the antithesis to what Reinhardt wants to do. Poke bowls him over. Sturrock! Handler is there, though. Pulse Bomb already built up. That's pretty darn quick. He gets the stick as well. Fury goes down, and the Atlanta Reign come out with something a little bit different, and it sticks.
They're able to get the payload over the line. On point B. It was a good defense, though, from London all throughout. Big pickoffs there from Birdring. So FRD will switch off of the Reinhardt here.
Big fan, Reinhardt, big fan.
So, see what Inlayer decides to do as well.
He'll go Mei. So Mei Hog. Ursula on the Widowmaker. So we saw this the other day. Teams that like to go to the Widowmaker towards the end of this map. A little bit easier to get those pickoffs as Hanzo has to get really close quarter. You play pretty far away with the Widowmaker, maybe create some better sight lines for yourself.
Transcendence for both sends here. Atlanta Reign want to start this one off with a decent Holt. They actually have another tool now instead of the hook. Ursta finds a headshot off a Holt that's as good as a Roadhog hook for a kill.
You see that box of victory there for the Atlanta Reign as payloads get close.
Holt, Fortify used there. You see Fidosa quickly applies the Army Orb as Gesture flies skyward. Gonna be a Transcendence now. Birdring a little bit low here. Gesture, he's down. Fidosa a little bit too late with his Transcendence. And now with the Amplification Matrix in play, the Spitfire need to be extra careful. There's no shielding, no chance. Did London perhaps not realize how close the payload was to getting to its goal? Gesture again picked off first. And the rest just got recorded in the annals of history. The London Spitfire will potentially still get a top 6 spot, but the odds are not great. The Reign are going to go into next week with a full head of steam.
You did not believe in the Atlanta Reign. I think this week has to make you a believer in this team. 2 big wins, the chance to finish the stage 7-0. So this one against London is a big shocker to me. Expected it to be a close game.
So did we. We wouldn't call it match of the week. We didn't think it would be close.
I thought Atlanta was probably a favorite, but like I said, I thought Atlanta a little bit better than maybe some other people, but I did not expect London to just roll over here and give away a 4-0.
The look on Gesture's face says it all. Greatly displeased. London were trying to build up some momentum of their own, but that's not to be the case. Let's head down to the stage with Mika and a couple peachy lads.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Baby Bay and FRD, a surprise guest. Hello, guys. How are you guys feeling after that match?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty peachy right now, you know? Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good. I think I'm pretty good on the pig, so I think I showed I dominated a little bit there.
All right, I love it. And you guys are 2 matches away. If you take both of those wins for having an undefeated season, what would you attribute to such an incredible turnaround from last stage?
Well, as Fried said earlier, we couldn't have done it without the Dominator, his alter ego that happens when he gets on stage, and of course everybody else and the coaching staff and stuff like that, and our fans that have always been here for us even when we were going through a hard time. So yeah, we just got it together, and we were so hungry to win, and we love this new meta. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think we just played really well together as a team, you know. We got our pull hooks combo off, and we got our pull mail, pull dragon, you know, that sort of stuff, and really sort of meshing together well as a team. And obviously, when you follow the fundamentals like that, you just straight up win, so.
Absolutely, and if you guys do go undefeated this stage, then you will have a chance to make it into the top 6. How important is that bye week going to be for the Atlanta Reign?
I think it's important for any team to make top 6 if they can, because you get to scout the teams that are already going to be playing Sigma. So it's going to be another meta. We don't know how it's going to be. So instead of just going in just dry and not knowing the meta, we can prepare, scout a lot of the teams, and get a feel for the new meta.
All right, one last question. This is really important. This is something the fans really want to know. Why do you tuck your jersey in, my guy?
It's very, 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 very cold on stage. It's very cold.
Oh my gosh, and the slide. Oh wow. Oh, okay. I don't even have anything to follow up with that. That took me an out of body experience.
That's the Dominator right there. That's the Dominator right there, baby.
Mitch and Matt, please save me from this.
Yo, show
what are those?
I like them, bro. Show them off.
Oh my. You don't like them. You wouldn't wear them yourself.
I would.
No, you wouldn't. Not
FRD,
here.
FRD, get me a pair of those. I'll wear them.
It's like Matt's glasses he'd never wear in public.
That's true.
Yeah, wouldn't like it. Here's the season standings though now, when well, a lot of our top teams are locked in. There is one spot in the top 12 remaining.
Yeah, so obviously some movement could happen in the top 6 as well in terms of seeding, but that final top 6 spot is going to come down to the London Spitfire and Atlanta Reign. If Atlanta were to win out, Atlanta would move into 6. And look at the schedule. I mean,
Nothing
Dallas Fuel
but
and
dub, baby.
Dallas Fuel and Boston Uprising. 2 very winnable games here for the Atlanta Reign to close out their season. Could potentially see the London Spitfire, our reigning champions, in the play-ins.
And not where they want to be at all. It's going to be quite the gauntlet to run through. Let's move on now and have a look at our player of the match, presented to you by Omen by HP. I want him to burn the shoes with fire, but FRD is going to be your player of the match today. The Roadhog was cooking, and I'm talking in the best way possible, man. Great hook accuracy. You can see just how much he adds by finding ways to get the first pick in so many of these fights. It's all about that first kill right now.
Great on Roadhog. I think when you mention the Roadhog, you have to also mention the halts from Popo. Very good throughout the series. But I feel like one of the biggest differences in this game, we talked about the damage dealers coming in, was his Roadhog was really, really strong. And Fury is a player who we kind of hold to a high regard in terms of the off tanks.
Yep.
He was not really as effective as FRD today, which was a huge advantage for Atlanta.
FRD comes into the league sort of midway through this season as a relative unknown to many people who've sort of just been watching the league. Great to pick up, great to bring him up from that tier 2 scene, and now he's really shining alongside the rest of the Reign. What a great first season for Atlanta. And it's not over yet. We're going to see more of him still in this stage. Coming up next, though, we've got more matches to play, and for some teams, that's the last time we're going to get to see them here on stage this year. So definitely worth sticking around for. The Paris Eternal take on the Washington Justice now, and we'll be back with that match on the other side of this break. This is the Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.